So, hi there, my name is Liz Hathway and this is my astrological look at the week ahead, and that's the week starting Monday, July the 1st, 2019. So we're coming really fully, properly into eclipse season now, and I've been looking back and trying to sort of draw parallels between the last time we had this eclipse in 3 North, which was in 2001, and just trying to figure out for myself what this could, be about. So kind of just reflecting back on that previous eclipse in the 3 North series in 2001, if you look at that chart, really the sun and moon, the conjunction there is early degrees of Cancer, and it's not integrated in any way. The whole chart is really about the Saturn-Pluto opposition that was going on at that time, Pluto in Sag, Saturn in Gemini. So it felt almost kind of as if that something was being missed out, that the sun and moon were not really fully engaged with the rest of the planetary picture. It was very much about this sort of mutable energy that was going on at that moment in time. In comparison, I think the eclipse season that we're coming into now is heavily anchored into the Cancer-Capricorn axis, there where the nodes are and where, all the significant action now is going on around the South Node, around that Saturn-Pluto upcoming conjunction. We know Jupiter's going to be in there in the picture as well, sort of later in the year. So it's really, this is very, very much more pulled in focus, in tune, on the mark. And we're talking about the sun and moon here, which are the two lights, the male, female, the conscious, unconscious, the very important, sort of cardinal signs, which are, sort of really emphasizing changes in direction, making moves, making significant moves. So this eclipse really is sort of focusing on, as well, you could say, the parental axis, the sort of sun, moon, mother, father thing. It's really, really drawing into that sort of like the main theme of the time, this eclipse. It feels very timely in a way. So this eclipse is in 10 degrees 38 Cancer. It will be taking place tomorrow. Just before the sort of moon moves into Cancer, we have Mars moving into Leo, Mars moving out of Cancer, coming into Leo. And Mars in Leo is much more conform, the true nature of the planet. Fire is a masculine element. It's an element that has drama to it, that has energy, that has drive. It's a lot less emotional than Mars in Cancer. It's more active, but there's also that sense with Mars in Leo of fixed energy. This is a fire that's well banked down, that's going to last for a while. It's got staying power. And this happening just before the sun and moon are conjunct, which is always a conjunction of the sun and moon. It's a birth moment. It's the start of something. And it gets a little bit of a boost that Mars is in Leo instead of in Cancer. It's not as emotional. I think as well that it's in 1038 Cancer. It's happening around the North Node. This is very much, I think, about responsibility. If you think about, the ruler of this eclipse is the moon in Cancer. Cancer is an emotional sign. It's attached. It has those claws. It doesn't want to let go. It's merging with the other. And yet the call here is as well to remember your borders, to keep a sense of distance to certain emotions that are taking place within the collective, within yourself, to take responsibility for yourself, to make maybe as well changes that are related to things that you've, kind of behavioral patterns that were given or impressed or imprinted in you as a child, to become aware of them, to become a better adult to yourself. It's a new moon to nurture the things that have, that need nurturing, that need to be developed, new things in yourself that are being brought to light, because that's very much the nature of Pluto, isn't it? It's not just that sort of, you know, let's destroy, let's break down, let's disintegrate. It's also about what can we bring to light in that process. What, you know, what has survived that and is now ready to sort of come more to the foreground. It's not getting caught up in the past. It's not allowing yourself to be completely submerged by it. The moon Cancer energy is powerful. It has a lot of qualities. It's that ability to nurture, that ability to bring to adulthood, to fruition, is very strong. But at the same time, there's that oversensitivity, there's that unwillingness to let go of things, to stay too much in an energy which, with that Capricorn axis being strongly featured as well, you know, we're being reminded that we need to grow up, we need to become emotionally mature, that we need to man up in a way to take responsibility for our actions, for our lives, for the things we're doing. And where this eclipses are always like spotlights. There's a focus in an area of your chart, some area of your chart you're being asked to look at. So, you know, look at the rulers as well, you know. So if this eclipse is falling in your 3rd house or your 4th house, you know, what's in your radix 3rd or 4th house? What are the rulers of those houses? Try to get a real sense of the wholeness of the new direction that you need to be birthing now, because there's a real spotlight somewhere, and that Mars is in early degrees of Leo. It's kind of like a little bit of support for the sun, because of course this is a solar eclipse, so the moon is very strong here. The moon is blotting out the sun in a way, so it's very much about the moon, about the early childhood, about the sort of things that we've being given, and you know, the environment we were brought up in, the habits we formed. It's a habit breaking eclipse in a way. On Wednesday then, you know, we see the day after the eclipse, Venus moves into Cancer, moves into the moon sign. So yeah, there again we get this sense of intimacy and closeness and warmth and merging, and you know, we are one, you know, and yet there's all that Capricorn stuff there, which is, as I said, reminding us to, you know, draw on the wisdom of the past, to stay aware of what we've learned on our journey, to be adult, to be responsible, to, you know, where necessary, draw back, put in borders, you know, not just completely surrender to a feeling, but to be a bit conscious of the patterns that we have. And really then we get into the weekend, you know, we've got moon moving into Leo, and it's then going to be conjunct with Mars. But I think really the main sort of energy of this week is centered around the beginning of the week, you know, and really Mercury as well is going to go retrograde on a week today. So that as well, you know, is a kind of reflective thing. It's going to be, you know, it's retrograding in Leo, you know, so it's going to be coming into contact with Mars there as well next week. But this week, I think with that eclipse, I think it's a lot to do with, you know, sort of rising above and becoming aware of our patterns, our behavioral patterns, and learning to be more adult and to grow up, to approach things with a much more realistic and less emotional sort of style. Okay, that was my look at the week. Have a good one. Speak to you again. Bye.